Order. I don't know. Did everyone hear?
You're in and out, Rich.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. You're back.
Okay. Kathy, did you hear me? I call the meeting to order.
Yep. Me too.
Okay. Paul, your flag, please. Join me for the pledge.
All right. Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy, can you tell, do we have any public on?
No.
No, thank you. Any new correspondence that came in?
No.
Okay. Okay, the approval of the minutes of July 19th.
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Second.
Are there any additions or deletions?
I had two minor revisions. Let me get to them here quick. Just some language. Under Director's Report, the first bullet says sanitary sewer inspection. Should be sanitary survey. That's on the water side for DPH. So change the word sewer to survey.
So it's supposed to be water survey?
It's a sanitary survey. That's what they call it. So you're just changing the word sewer. You're taking sewer out. You're putting survey in.
Okay.
And then the only other clarification on the PUC capitals, the bullet for the 2021 water main replacements, I had indicated the contractor started saw cutting on School Street. So I didn't want to leave the impression that he started laying pipe yet.
Okay.
So just add the word saw cutting after the word on. Oh no, I'm sorry. After the word started, put the word saw cutting. Sorry.
Okay.
And that was it.
Any other corrections, anyone? Is Marty on? He generally finds something.
Yeah, he's on.
Okay.
Hey, Rich, you passed over the meeting format, which Matt had said we would just decide for like next month how the.
Yeah, well, I was going to do that at the end.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as amended? So you want to say aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, Bob, you're up with the financial reports.
Okay. First month of the year, not much going on. Both of them will have, because this is not a collection month, a negative balance. So water department have revenue of 95,000, expenses of 165. So a net loss of or deficit of $70,000. Basically, all straightforward salaries and benefits that were paid out that amounted to 95,000 in personnel costs on the water side, and on the sewer side, the personnel cost was 61,000. The big difference between the two of them and the expenses is on the sewer, there was 180,000 in principal that was paid down on a 2014 GO bond, and interest of 25. You don't have that on the water side. You just have the utility payments for those 20-year notes, and those are quite a bit smaller. those numbers are 17,000 and 6,000. So that's why you see a bigger deficit on the sewer at this point than you do on the water. But outside of that, like I said, this is not a collection month. So, you know, there's no revenue. We're collecting revenue this month, August. So you'll see a pop next month when the report is given. But, you know, we only collect revenue in the utilities 4 times a year. So that's it.
Yeah, bear with my internet, folks. All right, do we need a motion to accept Bob's report? I'll make a motion, we accept the controller's report.
Second.
Any other questions for Bob on the report?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of accepting the report as submitted?
Aye.
Say aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Invoices. And Kathy, can you help me out with the number on the invoices?
$110,198.50.
$110,000
$198.50.
and 60 cents.
50.
50.
Zero, yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we put on the table invoices in the amount of $110,180. Not
198.
198 and 50 cents.
Right.
Have a second for discussion.
Again.
Second.
Does everybody have a chance to look them over?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor of paying the invoices in the amount of $110,198.50, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. No new business, Tom?
No. No new. And my director's report, I would really just go right into the capital project summary.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. Our sanitary sewer rehabilitation project for sub area 14. At this point, the contractor's completed about 3/4 of the lining sections that he needed to do. We've had no issues, no problems, no surprises. He'll finish the remainder of those sections and the short liners this week. And then there's a little bit of manhole rehab work that will follow next, and that'll be the extent of the project.
Whatever happened with not Kingswood, the condo complex up on the hill there?
Plumtree Heights.
Yeah.
We had an initial meeting. I had sent them a couple of memos, keeping them, you know, up to date in terms of what was going to happen. I've never heard another response from them, and we've had a little bit of work we've done up there, and we've got no response.
All right. What are we doing in the future? Are we continuing to do the repairs and then we're going to build them after?
I think we could discuss that further. I think the last memo that I sent them had indicated Matt had suggested that we would be able to do an assessment on the individual unit owners. So I think that was the last correspondence. Taking the total, you know, once the project is completed, we can figure out what portion was up there, and then figure out what an appropriate assessment could be. And he indicated that we could probably do that over 4 separate quarters. I think it was going to come out to about $100 a unit, something like that.
Per quarter?
It might have been 100 in total. I'd have to look back to see exactly how that was written.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't a lot.
Maybe, have you discussed this with Marty at all? I mean, do we need any legal?
I don't think we got there yet, Rich, because we have to really let the work be completed to kind of come up with the total for that section. And then I think it's still under our discussion whether or not we actually want to go forward with it. So I think there'll be more discussion once we get all the work completed.
Okay. Is everybody happy with that explanation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have a question for Tom. Going back to the previous discussion about the lining of the sewers, are you going to be having a filming of a camera of it all, such
Yes.
that you're satisfied?
Yes, we do they actually did camera work when they put the project together and went out to bid. The contractor comes in now, he does camera work in advance of his lining, and then he does follow-up camera work after he's done.
Okay.
So all of that gets looked at, yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that could lead me into actually last year's sanitary sewer project. We heard from that contractor. He's ready now to do his 1-year warranty camera work. So he's going to come back and look at it again a year later. And then he'll be in a position, if that's all acceptable, we'll be able to release his retainage.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets looked at, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Next, Bergstrom Well, design is continuing. I've submitted some, well, they came up with a 30% design memorandum, basically summarizing where we're at. So staff has reviewed that, and I've gotten back to them with comments. So that's our next step, is to follow through with that as they continue on with their design. The two projects that we just more or less brought to an end is the 2019 water mains. The last of the work was completed, and retainage will be the last item, as well as with the Chestnut tank. The last of the work has been completed, and retainage will be the last item there. Regarding our next set of water mains, the 2021, the contractor has been, he's gotten material. I know last time I mentioned there was some issue with being able to get a hold of material and being able to get it all. He did get a fair amount of the pipe and various fittings. So he's gotten that delivered to the site, and he's got his call before you digs called in for later this week. I think he's gonna complete mobilizing with some of his equipment, his trench box and his steel plates. And if he's not ready to start putting pipe in by the end of this week, he's good to go starting Monday. So that project will get off the ground.
You know where he's starting first?
I think he was gonna go with, because he was able to get more of the 8-inch pipe. So he's gonna, I think, start on Pleasant Street. And since he's right around the corner there from Fleetwood, I think he's gonna do those two, and then he'll jump into the 12-inch. But I haven't touched base with him at this point on any updated schedule yet, but it looks like Pleasant Street is where he's gonna kick it off.
All right. And the homeowners out there know, have they been notified that the work is going to start?
I haven't sent anything formal, but we've had material out there. We've you know, painted up the ground with everything. We've done the saw cutting, but I could get a robocall out to maybe whoever numbers we have, or again on Pleasant Street, there's only a handful. We could probably hang some doorknob notices and let them know that that's going to get started.
Yeah, I had gotten a couple calls from people in that area. One was from Fleetwood Park, and they just wanted to know what the process was. You know, they were afraid they were going to be without water for a week while they did the line. I tried to explain to them that, you know, they saw a cut, they dig, they put the pipe in, they test, and then they flush, and then they go back and hook up the lines. But, you know, I didn't know if you were sending out a letter or robocalls for that.
I have a previous letter from other projects. I'll get that updated. I'll get something out. I'll get something out tomorrow at the latest Wednesday.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yep,
Thank
no
you.
problem. And last item, we haven't gotten going on it yet much, but the SCADA design will be kicking off here probably in the next, I would say, the next few weeks. And other than that, that's our capital projects.
Okay.
How about the punch list over at the new tank?
The punch list, the last of the items was some electrical items that they wanted them to change out. They did have them. They did change out a couple of the items per Wright Pierce, and we're all set at this point. The fencing's in, the planting's in, the grading, the gravel, the lawn has taken. It looks pretty good up there.
Okay.
All right. Supervisors report. Kellyanne.
Yeah, Rich, I got a couple things. A couple service leaks. One we thought was groundwater at our last meeting, but it turned out to be a service leak. We sent out a letter to the homeowner on Reservoir and also on Oxford Street. Within a day, they had them repaired. I think they had them repaired before the letter actually got delivered to the house. No change in the hydrants. We haven't done anything on the pressure tank at Briarcliff. Just been busy with other stuff. Sewer-wise, on Paul Street, they have ordered all the parts needed to do the transfer switch. And we met with them 2 or 3 times just to make sure that I think they thought they could just take that system offline for 8 hours. And now they got to understand we can't. So we found a way that we can do it 15 minutes at one time and then 15 minutes at the end when it's all done. They found a way to connect to the buzz bar. So we'll be able to have the plant on it off for the most of about 15 minutes. If not, if we run into an emergency, we're putting the plant right back on town power. But we do have their generator over there, and the electrician that's doing the job is pretty confident that he can get it done the way he wants to. Out at Stony Hill about 3 weeks ago, we had to pull the 2 pumps. What was happening is the amperage was not up, like there was a bad pump, but all of a sudden one pump was working 3 times more than the other pump. So we were kind of leaning toward it was possibly a check valve between the 2 lines. Well, come to find out, Blake come out, pulled it, took the pump wall apart. There was a chunk of plastic sewer main in the pump. And every time the pump would go on, that piece of plastic got into the impeller and was just spinning. When they pulled this pump up, this one you're probably not going to believe, they found kitty litter and it plugged up the pump. So what was happening, the pump was going on, it wasn't affecting the amperage, but it was plugged from the kitty litter. It was almost plugged solid. So it was making the pump, when it cycled from pump 1 to pump 2, it was just going 3 times as long as it should. But it was looking like it was a bad check valve. But other than that, they pulled them up. They cleaned both pumps. The other one was squeaky clean, and the system's working just like it should, doing the same amperage and the same hours on both sides. We had the second one pulled. We were there, and for the hour it takes to pull it and just make sure that's where we were.
What was the piece of plastic? Was it a cord? Did someone drill out and tap a main?
If it was a cord, they did one lousy time. It was the chunks were all busted out. The edges were very rough, almost like they cut it with a grinder. It wasn't real wide, but it didn't look like an 8-inch core being cut out. Whatever this was, I'm going to guess goes back to the phase 1, 2, or 3. This was something that was sitting in the line, or it got pumped up from Newtown. But it wasn't small main like we have in Stony Hill. This was part of a trunk line. This looked like maybe a 12-inch piece of plastic SDR 35.
Man.
Very heavy walled. But when they showed me, I was quite shocked. But they said that we didn't even know that what the product was in there. When we were saying it was kitty litter, this guy from Blake Equipment, who's quite experienced, he says you wouldn't believe how many times they find that. It's because it's like a clay, and it usually just packs the line. I would never have thought it. I would have thought after watching Rags rip up the inside of these impellers. I just couldn't imagine kitty litter doing the same thing. But you learn something new every day. Paving wise, they have milled Mansfield. It's really not much for us to do other than our guys just to go out and locate them when they come through to, I guess they're going to pave on Friday. There's a couple sewer manholes out there that are from Danbury when they tied in the Timber Oak project out on the Mansfield. But that's supposed to be shot for Thursday or Friday. It looks like it's probably going to be Friday. They're going to put a top coat on Drummer's Lane. So we're going to have to put some frames on, some risers on there. And then Bobby's been, he's in the middle of redoing all of Saxton. So he's actually dropping the manholes. So the 8-inch manholes that we put in there, the frames, we're putting in 4s. So his guys pulled them all out, put in the 4-inch. And I guess his plan is that's going to correct all that drainage problem that we have down there. Other than that, that's about it. Flushing, we actually have the company that made the system that talks from up at Eureka down to the wells. They're actually coming Monday morning with hopefully a representative from Verizon. We can get this situation put to bed. So our pumps are on automatic like they should be. And hopefully we'll get flushing. But that's about where we stand.
Okay.
And I still have one guy out on workman's comp, and everybody's using their summertime vacation.
Yeah.
But we're getting stuff done.
All right. Just out on Payne Road, if you're out on Payne Road, there, it's, you know, one side's Bethel, one side's Danbury. There's appears to be a manhole that's low, and every time you drive over it, you know, it's like it feels like you're falling in a hole. Can you just check out the manholes out there?
Yeah. You remember about where you're talking, or is that just
coming up from Danbury? It's just a short ways up from Danbury. It's, you know, it's closer to the Danbury side.
Okay. Yeah,
okay. And my other question is, how are we making out with the car wash guy?
You know what?
He's paid his last couple of bills.
What, Tom?
He has paid his bills.
Yes, huh?
So the high consumption came in. We swapped out to the correct meter with the 2 fixed zeros. His consumption now reflects what he's really using, and he's paid his bills on time.
Did we go back and reduce the size of the meters? Did, you know, he was going to do some flow tests or anything to see if he needed that big of a meter? No. Okay. So he seems happy or content?
Content. I think that's probably better. Content.
He's at least current.
Okay, that's good. All right. All right. Matt had asked about this COVID thing that's going on again. You know, we thought we were going to go back to in-person meetings, or we have a choice of in-person meetings, hybrid meetings, or totally Zoom meetings. You know, with this COVID Delta coming back here again, what's your pleasure? I think we should, his suggestion was to do it monthly right now and see how it goes. So is everyone okay with doing it Zoom for a little longer?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
No problem.
All right. And Bob, when is your last? We'll see you at the next meeting.
Yes, you will. Yeah, I'll be around for the next one. It's probably my last meeting, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'll be around.
Well, just keep in mind the dates are September meeting because of Labor Day. Well,
But the second one is what? The
20th.
The 20th?
The 20th would be the third Monday, just the way the calendar falls. So I'm not sure if you're.
Yeah, I'm not.
Available.
Well, why don't you come back and visit us anyway?
I can get on a Zoom as a resident, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is the last one.
Oh,
Oh,
well, really, on behalf of the commission, thank you for all your hard work, and hope you enjoy your
Yes,
retirement.
thank you, Bob.
thank you, Richie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every minute, really. Maybe not the public hearings and the town meetings, but other than that, I mean, it's a great bunch of people here. You know, and all the commissions that I've been on, you know, it's the same thing. So I appreciate your, you know, help when I needed it, and you know, I'll be around, but I'll miss you too.
Okay, well.
So you're leaving me all by myself here, eh?
Yeah.
Good
All right,
luck.
thank you again, Bob.
All right.
Paul, you're leaving too in a couple months.
Maybe, who knows?
Best of luck, Bob.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. I was looking forward to being Kozlowski and Zatkowski, turning it into
That's right.
you know, a law firm. You know, Marty, sounds good at least.
Okay, Kathy, so we'll continue the Zoom meetings for, you know, the next month at least, and we'll see how things are going on that. Is there anything else to come before the commission this evening? Entertain a motion.
Have we heard anything about the railroad?
Not a word. Excellent. No, nothing from the railroad. Only thing we got was some police bills so far. It's, Tom, what's it been, 3 months, I guess, right? We really haven't seen anything. No, 2 months. I guess it's 2 months.
Yeah, no, haven't heard a word.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, Kelly, just you know, the hydrants. Any chance of having the contractor that we've hired, either now or in the past contractors, earth movers, would they be interested in doing any of that hydrant work?
Actually, I'm sure if I said something to Tinker out there on Payne Road, they would be interested.
All right, well, let's see if we can get some of those hydrants taken care of, please. All right. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Paul. Can I have a second?
Come on, somebody.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Yes. Take
Thanks,
care.
everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.
Good night.
Night.